Welcome to a new episode of Video Car Review, our international branch of Ausfahrt TV. And today I'm presenting you the 5th generation of the Renault Espace. For those of you who don't know our format yet, either Ausfahrt TV or now Video Car Review, be aware our reviews are pretty long. You know, we take our time to go through all the details, so the reviews are between half an hour and even longer than an hour. But don't be afraid. You know, we have jump markers in the description text of this very video, and our videos are always structured in the same way. So you can jump from chapter to chapter if you're bored in one chapter, which I don't hope. You know, I try to be as entertaining as I can. And on the other hand, you can say, well, I just watched 2 chapters today and shoot 2 chapters tomorrow. Whoa. Besides that, in the description text you find the technical data of our test car, and if we have any reviews, links to the reviews of the competitors. Citroën is offering the Espace, at least in Germany, with only 3 different powertrains. We got 2 diesels and 1 petrol engine. All of the engines have a capacity of 1.6 liters. So the smaller diesel comes with 130 horses and a manual 6-speed transmission. The bigger diesel has 160 horses and a 6-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. And we got the petrol engine with 200 horses and a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. All cars have front wheel drive. And here it is, the heart of our test car. It's a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that has 200 horses. It's good for maximum torque of 260 Newton meters, and you get them at 2,500 RPM. As I said before, the powertrain comes with a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, and of course the car has front wheel drive. Allow me to give you the basic specs of our test car, the Renault Espace with 200 horses and the petrol engine. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour in 8.6 seconds. And you reach the top speed at 211 kilometers per hour or 131 miles per hour. The gas tank of the 2016 Renault Espace will take 58 liters or 15.3 US gallons. Renault gives a fuel consumption figure of 6.2 liters for every 100 kilometers driven or 37.9 miles per US gallon, which means that under perfect conditions you can drive up to 930 kilometers or 580 miles without stopping for fuel. CO2 emissions for the 2016 Renault Espace ENERGY TCe 200 EDC should be 140 grams per kilometer according to Renault. The Renault Espace has a length of 4.86 meters or 191 inches with a wheelbase of 2.88 meters or 113 inches. It is 1.68 meters high, so 66 inches, and it is 1.89 meters wide, so 74 inches, with a span of 2.13 meters or 84 inches from mirror tip to mirror tip. For the turning circle, you need at least 11.1 meters or 36.4 feet of free space. The curb weight comes in at 1,684 kilograms or 3,713 pounds. The admissible loaded weight is 2,410 kilograms or 5,313 pounds. In Germany, our test car would cost around about 47,690 euros. Alright, Renault put the new Renault Espace on a new platform. It's a CMF platform they developed together with Nissan, and having this new car on the new platform, they managed to increase the weight by 250 kilograms even, so the car got much lighter. At least in Germany we have 3 different trim levels. It's Live, Intense and Initial Paris. Quoi? So we got the highest line here in our test car, the Initial Paris. What I think is pretty amazing, the front shield of the car, so the front window, has a size of 2.8 square meters. That's quite a bit. So thinking about me, you know, parking on the street all the time. Today the car was frozen totally. You really have to scratch the ice away for a while. So lucky you if you order the highest trim level, because this comes with a heated front shield. At least in Germany, by factory settings, the Renault Espace comes with full LED front lights. The LED Pure Vision, that's how they call them. And it comes with automatic high beams, so once you drive faster than 45 kilometers per hour and there's no car in front of you or no light source, it starts putting on the high beams automatically. At least in Germany, you have the choice between 8 different colors. Our color here is called Amethyst Black or Amethyst Schwarz. So it's a two-tone. That's hard for me. A two-tone painting. Depending on how the sun comes on the paint, it looks black, like it does for you guys now. And if you have more sun on it, it's rather purple. So be aware if you buy a car with this color, you know, you think, well, I'm badass, you know, black car. Oh, cool, put on my shades. And you drive around, you know, hey chicks, what's going on? And they're like, oh, look at this strange guy with this purple car, hoo-hoo. Beware if you take this paint. But it's the most expensive paint, at least in Germany, costs 900 euros extra, while you can order the car in white and don't have to pay anything. The car comes with a ground clearance of 16 centimeters, no inches here, which gives you an idea that Renault is really trying to push the Renault Espace in the direction of an SUV. Give it a little bit more of ground clearance, make it look like a crossover this way, you know, ground clearance up. Our car stands on 19-inch alloys. They belong to the highest trim level. However, if you take the small diesel version, you get 17-inch alloys, and as an option there are 18-inch alloys. I think by looking at the rear, the back of the car, of the Renault Espace, you see that Renault is really trying to push the Espace in a new direction towards crossover and SUVs, especially here with this silver part that should or is supposed to make the car look a little bit more robust, even if it's just plastic and won't help you a bit when you go off-road or through the woods. However, the rest of the car from the back looks pretty much like a regular station wagon, I guess. Spoiler on the top with a third braking light. We got LED rear lights here, but with some light bulbs inside as well. So it's a mix, it's not full LED. And here again, like in the front, Initiale for the trim level, Initial Paris. Ah, ça va. Oh yeah, the exhaust pipe. Look, we have two now. Those are just fake ones here. They didn't even try to make them look like exhaust pipes. The real exhaust pipe is down here, pretty big and hidden because it's ugly. Alright, I just took off my winter jacket. It's freezing cold here. Sun is out, looks pretty nice and warm, but it is freezing. However, always take your winter jacket off when you enter the driver's seat. Why? Because it's not good for your ability to do everything you want. If you have a big winter jacket, you're limited. Well, the doors, they're not only pretty big, they open in an angle around about 85 degrees, and we got from our option line an Initial Paris dorsal panel here even. Well, crossover, SUV, you know, family van, whatever, you get in while stepping rather up, so it's very easy to place yourself in the seat. By the way, an electric seat. Well, you can adjust the seat electrically. That's what I want to say. If you turn off the ignition, the seat scoots back automatically, so it's easier for you to get out and in. And I have to reach out quite a bit if I open the door all the way, but the door is not very heavy and I can close it easily. Welcome inside, and I have to say I'm really pleased. I like it. I like the interior. I like what they did with the materials. Sure, this is just soft touch, but since they created it as a leather appeal with this contrast stitching down here, it really looks good, and especially if you have, since you have all this room in the front of you, that's all we look on, it really gives you a good feeling. Besides that, we have hard plastics down here all the way. The trim level Initiale Paris comes with leather seats, leather on the armrest, leather in the door panels, and well, in the doors down here it's hard plastic then again. However, all in all, it does look very nice, at least to me, and it feels good. The material feel good, at least the ones that you touch. Here's a wooden application as well, and got here this high glossy paint and all that. So for me, it is really, it was very surprising how neat it is inside here. When it comes to room, I'm 180 centimeters tall, so 5'11". I have so much space. It's a spacious feeling to drive this car with a windscreen, far away and all this space with a wide center here that is really dividing the driver's seat from the passenger seat. So this is mine, it's all mine, and this is all yours here. And I was driving with quite a few different people, and it really is this way, You almost feel like when you want to talk to your passenger that you push a button here. Hello, how are you doing? Because it's so spacious. I really like this. When it comes to the ergonomy, the whole center is not facing me as a driver, it's facing backwards, which I always think is kind of sad. And I have to confess, this is the second Renault from the nowadays that I'm driving. So I was pretty confused at first, I was like, oh, how did they do this? I cannot, use this car. It's so messed up, the whole concept. But I was totally wrong. I found out, Now 2 weeks later, I'm about to, give this car away now. I understood the whole concept, and I like it even. They made so many neat things that I appreciate by now, and so I'm excusing myself for my first impression, really. Okay, but let's start out, and I give you all the details later. We can adjust the safety belts the height of the safety belts on our shoulder, and the safety belts are really long. Look at this, no one will have problems buckling up. The seats, I already told you, they are covered with the leather seats. We have branding here, Initiale Paris again. The seats are perforated. You can heat them up in 2 intensities. And what I like is that the perforation kind of sprinkles out at the end. That's just a tiny detail, but I like it anyway. I think it looks really neat. However, I was driving the car for 2 hours straight, so I can say the seats are comfortable, for me at least. I like them, but they're not sporty seats. It's more like a sofa kind of seat. And however, the side support is limited, but on the other hand, I have to say, I didn't even try to really push this car. For me, it's not a sporty car at all. So yes, I drove in sport, but I didn't feel like cornering. It's just not doing it for me. However, the seats, you can adjust them electrically, both seats of course, all the way. The cushion, you can extend the seat cushion here manually, and you have an electric lumbar support as well. Besides that, you find a push button, on the side, which gives you another context menu, and here we even have a massage function for both front seats. You can turn it on and have 3 different ways of getting a massage: tonic, relaxing, lumbar, and you can choose intensity between 1 and 5 as well as the speed 1 and 5. And 1 is like really, is anything happening, while 5 is really, it's almost like a workout. And I enjoyed this very much driving on the Autobahn. Actually, it's just using, I guess, lumbar cushion, air cushion that is in there, or cushions. However, it does feel neat and I like it. Very good. Okay, back to home here. Anything else about the seat? I told you that you can heat them up. No. So, the steering wheel, covered with nappa leather as well as the other parts, while the sides where you have your grip, where you place your hands, is even perforated leather. You can adjust the steering wheel manually. That's the radius you got here. Whoopsie. And it is a multifunctional steering wheel as well. So on the left side you have the buttons to control the ACC, the adaptive cruise control, while on the right side you have buttons to control on one hand the board computer, but still some stuff like hang up your phone and use speech commands for the infotainment system. If I put the steering wheel a little bit to the side, I can see this knob here, or this whatever it is, how you would call it, another application. And here I can turn up and down the volume, mute the volume. I have a shortcut for the phone and a shortcut button to switch the different audio sources. Besides that, I have a mode button here and an OK button for whatever I needed. Yeah. Okay, then we got mirrors here, the auto mirrors. I'm still confused. You know, I always do the German part and then the English part, and I still have the idea that there is that the right mirror is bigger than the left mirror for some reason. I don't know. However, both mirrors are fine for keeping an eye on the traffic behind you, and since the car or the rear lights stand out just a little bit, or the back stands out a little bit, you get a good idea where the car is ending. So once you maneuver, even if you have a rear camera, you have a good feeling where the car ends, and I like this. The inner rear mirror, you see the whole rear window, which I like, without nodding or fiddling around your head. That's always a good thing. Turning my head around my shoulder, so shoulder view, the B-pillar here on this side is pretty big, but still I wouldn't really call it a blind spot. We have little triangle windows in the A-pillars, and they are so big that they really make sense, especially if you go in corners. That helps you a little bit to keep an eye on the traffic and everything else. So A-pillar is fine on the right side. B-pillar is fine too. C-pillar is fine too, and between the C-pillar and the D-pillar we have another triangle window, but that does not help the D-pillar from being just a huge wall. So you do have a big blind spot here, and always make sure you use the right mirror as well, while you use the shoulder view, that you don't, miss a biker or anyone else. The highest trim level comes with a head-up display. It's not projecting the information in the front window, but on this little shield here, plastic shield. And as you can see, you have the current speed limit, the current speed, and some other stuff from the assist systems that is being projected here. Looking on the cockpit, we have a big centered cockpit. It's digital all the way, with two wings. The wing on the left side, that's a coolant temperature, and on the right side is for your gas tank. In the center you have a big display, and it depends on the driving mode or skin you use. So I will just switch through the different driving modes. This would be Sport, Eco, Neutral, Comfort, and personal setting. And since I check the personal setting, I can show you the different styles they offer. 4 different styles. This is style 1, style 2, style 3, and style 4. So you can configure your personal setting in variation of color and different views. So you can say I either want a speedometer going up to 230 kilometers per hour. Car runs 211. Or you say, I rather want something like a RPM meter with a digital speed unit. Then the RPM goes up to 7,000 RPM, while the red range starts at 6,000 RPM. On the left side, we see which driving mode we are in, or no, which driving program we are in. And on the right side, I can switch through different stuff. This is navigation system, audio source. Well, strange, horsepower, and this even depends different modes you're in. Whatever you put there, you get a different value. And besides that, I can use the board computer setting that's down here. So average fuel consumption, fuel use so far for this trip, overall mileage, trip mileage, no messages, tire pressure. Well, you can read this, right? I just go through here. And that's it, where we started out. So you have a lot of variations you can choose from, and yeah, get your display in the right style. Just switching to the 8.2-inch display in the center, I'm just showing you a little bit. So we got a main screen, that's a welcome screen, and you can swipe through different start pages. You can configure the start pages or home pages in a way you want to. So 3 pages are there for your personal configuration. So you can remove a widget and put in another widget here, and then it's stored, and just put navigation, down here we don't have any information, so that's it. And I think that is indeed pretty neat. By the way, you can read both displays very good during nighttime as well as in daytime. And last but not least, we have a rear camera, shows up down here, and you have all the responses from the sensor in the upper part of the display. Once you use the steering wheel, you see blue lines that show you where you're going if you use your wheels like that. And even though the camera picture is not too well, it helps you for parking. Besides that, the camera is not protected in the rear. It's over the license plate. And when it's raining and gets dark as well, you hardly see anything here. Back to top. Now I want to switch real quick. Oh, yeah. Back to the home, to the driving programs, and I want to go to personal and edit the current for ambient light setting. We do have an ambient light in here, not a decent one, I can assure you. You find first an LED stripe all around the center part, and the part below the center console is illuminated in the ambient light color as well. Besides that, we have LEDs on the pillars, on the B and C pillar, and you can choose between green, red, blue, purple and amber. You can choose the intensity between zeros, off and 100, and you can separately enable or disable the front area or the rear area. Besides that, the colors, if you choose the different driving modes, you can, store a different color to the current driving mode. So by basic configuration, once you put the car in sport, it gets red. Once you put it in eco, it gets green. But you can change the settings as well. We do have a sunroof here, but you cannot open it. That comes with the car. You can close this lid here, or the sun visor. As an option, you get a full panoramic sunroof, but this costs pretty much 1,200 euros, I guess, extra. Yeah, and then overall we have the horn. Sounds like that. Alright, to the compartment check. Here we go. In the door panels we do have space for this half-a-liter bottle, but not more. And it's really nifty to get, you know, to the stuff you put in there. On one hand we have so much space inside, on the other hand they really made it creepy to get to the door panel. However, the inside is covered with clothes. Next to the steering wheel on the left we have a little compartment, the inside covered with clothes again. No, nothing here. Here we have this little slider, we can slide it open. 2 USB ports, an aux in and an SD card reader, and once again the bottom covered with clothes. However, you know, just think about charging my iPhone, I would place it right here, and this does really not work. So my iPhone 6s Plus is way too big for this car. You can, you know, use it this way, wire it up and put it down here, because down here is another block compartment. It's, well, not too easy to reach it. We have 2 cup holders here that don't really make sense for me, because once you put this half-a-liter bottle, and that's really not big, in the cup holder, the top of the bottle, you know, is reaching the bottom of this part, and there are no spaces, so it's shaking around as well. I think it's pretty useless. Besides that, in front of the 2 cup holders we have a 12-volt outlet, so a third power source up here in this area, and behind the cup holders is another little compartment where my phone, you know, was lying. Besides that, the armrest, you cannot adjust it in any way, but you can open it, and here you have a huge compartment as well, floor covered with clothes once again. But just thinking about, you know, charging my iPhone here, it's so deep that the cable wouldn't be, or the regular cable at least, wouldn't be long enough to put it in here. However, that's really a huge compartment. One of my favorite in the car is the gloves compartment. You have a touch button here, and it's opening the whole thing electrically, and we have a drawer. You know, it's not a lid, it is really a drawer, and we have lots of space in here. So this is the board material, and we can still put, I think, even 5 times as much in here if we want to. Only thing that is a little bit annoying is for the passenger seat. You know, once you sit here with longer legs and you try to open the compartment, it will, you know, knock against your knees. But overall, I think it's really a neat thing. We have sun visors on both sides, both with a makeup mirror, and this makeup mirror is even illuminated with an LED. However, we don't have a ticket holder here in any way. Excuse me. We have reading lights for the driver and the passenger, both on the side, and we do have handles for the passenger. No, well, actually on all 4 doors, to be honest. And that's pretty much it. Alright, even if they say it's a funky crossover, whatever, pseudo SUV, it is for me a family car. So let's check out the space in the rear. By the way, the doors in the rear almost as big as in the front, maybe even bigger, and yeah, they open around about 80 degrees. And as well in the rear, I have to get up a little bit, rather up than down on the seat, which is nice, an easy entry. And yeah, I can close the door easily too. Well, you know, there are plenty of cars where I, you know, really enjoy sitting in the front, and I really cut this sitting in the rear pretty short because, you know, boring and not comfortable, and I'd rather sit on the passenger seat. But I'd have to tell you, here in the Renault Espace, I'm sitting so comfortable I could even take a little nap. Yeah, seriously, the seats are not very wide, you know, they're kind of tight. However, they're structured a little bit. You even have a tiny bit of side support, and I like the headrest, you know, I really sit comfortable. I'm 180 centimeters tall, so 5'11". The driver's seat is put in my position, and I have plenty of space for my legs. I have a whole fist that I can put between my head and the ceiling, and even if I go to the side, you know, my hair is touching the ceiling, but besides that, I have plenty of room. I can even look outside pretty neatly, and it's comfortable. But as I said, so the seat's a little bit tight, but if I scoot to the one in the center, I have the same amount of space here for myself. So really, 5 Jans can travel in this car long distance with ease. And I like this. If I want to, I can scoot forwards the seat quite a bit, see the difference, and back. So even if I need a little bit more space in the rear, in the trunk, I can, extend the space for the trunk a little bit. Or if I have a child that I want to scoot closer to the front seats, it's the same stuff. Yeah. And by the way, it's leather here again, and even in the door panels we have leather. It's the same material than in the front. Looking around, I have enough space in the door panel for this bottle, but that's it. It's very limited, the space in the door panels here, and you don't have any other way to store a cup, no cup holders here at all. That's a little bit sad. No, just checking. Okay, in the B pillar we have the air outlet, so the airstream comes out from the sides. There's nothing in the front. On the rear of the front seats we have a little bag for magazines, comics, whatever. In the center we have a climate control, so there's a different climate zone here for the second seat row. And we not only have a 12-volt outlet, but even two, listen to me, 2 USB ports for the rear, and I think both thumbs up. That's really cool, especially if you have older kids, they appreciate this. Below that we have a little drawer. The bottom is covered with clothes, and well, even my iPhone fits in here pretty well. More than that, that's pretty neat. But besides that, that's it already, no more storing facilities or anything else. But then we have Isofix hooks for all 3 seats, so you can even put a child seat in the center. Besides that, the seat belts for the center seat is in the ceiling up here. And the looks of the safety belts, they're stable, so stiff. Kids can buckle up themselves with ease. And having a look at the seat belt, that's what I call long. So no problems at all for child seats or baby shelves. That is really nice and handy. Besides that, we have reading lights on all 3 seats. Even in the center is a reading light, and I think that's really neat, so you really have 3 full seats. If you have 3 kids, that's a good car, I guess. We have handles on both doors, and there's a little hook for a jacket. We have power-driven windows that don't roll down completely, but I think it's still okay. And there's a protection as well, so your kids don't get harmed. And if it's too much sun, you even have a manual sun shield here, or sun visor, whatever you call it. Yeah. Overall, that's it, I guess. Oh yeah, no. You can get as an option a rear infotainment system. So on each backrest of the front seats, you get a little display and a DVD player inside. We don't have this here, but we're looking on some high glossy paint, and this logo from the trim level Initiale Paris is in here as well. Looks pretty neat. And actually, I can use this as a mirror. I look tired, don't I? Well, but that's it really. Alright, so I got 3 different options to open the lid of the trunk. Either use the key card, or push button right here at the license plate, or push button on the left side of the steering wheel. And I would just try to use the key card. And here it opens. By the way, the electric lid is not part of our trim level. You have to pay extra for it, around about 500 euros in Germany. I'm looking at the trunk and I see a volume of 680 liters, which equals 24 cubic feet. And since we are filming here in Bielefeld, my hometown, I don't have much luggage in the trunk, just my, well, never mind, just my suitcase and my camera bag. And here's our mighty tripod case that I always use as a reference, and you see you can put it easily in and out here. Yeah, and now let's check out the trunk. Alright, let's look around. First of all, here's a button to close the lid again, and once I push it and it closes, I can make it stop, just pushing again and then holding this button. The whole thing stores this very position, so especially if you have a garage which is not so high. That's a handy feature. We got a light down here in the lid itself, and now look around. This, by the way, how do you call this stuff here? Can you see it? You know, that you can put it to some sides. However, here's a warning triangle and the first aid kit and warning vest. And I can open the floor of the trunk and just push it in here, for instance. So here we got the subwoofer from the Bose premium sound system. Here's something I think, well, it says, you know, climatiseur. So maybe something from the climate control. I don't know. I have no idea, actually, really. No idea. And here we have some more storage for some extra luggage. But since this dent is here in the middle, you cannot really put a carry-on luggage part in here. So actually kind of weird, this trunk. We got the rings here on each side and back here again too, so you can tie up things if you want to. There's another light here. I don't know what this is supposed to be, maybe for bags, shopping bags. And I forgot, because I removed it already for the German version. This is actually the part where I remove this thing here. And now I'm trying to put it in at least again. Oh, shit. Ah, okay. So this is the side protection and whatever, you know, security, blah. And it just has this one stage here, and then you can let it roll it in. And if you want to release it, you push up this side or the other one and just remove it. We can flip the seat row, the second seat row from here. We have push buttons, so 30%, and just, I could press another time, but I want to show you, you can do it manually as well. Just push this button up and here it falls again. Alright, I got Brian's measuring tape with me here. So at the narrowest spot, the trunk is 108 centimeters wide, so 42.5 inches. To the second seat row, we have a depth of 90 centimeters, which is 35.5 inches. If I flip the seat again, to the flip backrest, we have 165 centimeters, so 65 inches. And I push the passenger seat to the very front, and measuring to the very front, we have a length of, or a depth of 205 centimeters or 80.5 inches. The height to the security protection, whatever you call it, is 46 centimeters, so 18 inches. And the height in to the ceiling is well, I'm sorry, this is not working for me here, is 86 centimeters, so almost 34 inches, not really 34 inches. By the way, if you flipped everything, first of all, you have a plain surface here, which I like, and second, you have a volume of 2,101 liter, or 74 cubic feet. Well, there are few numbers missing. I owe you something, so I don't want to have any debts. 74 centimeters to 29 inches. You have to lift the goods up to push them in the trunk, while the lid opens up to a weight of 210 centimeters, which is almost 83 inches. But as I told you before, you can program the lid that it opens at a certain height. I did it before, so now whatever, it's going up to this point, I guess. That's where I stored it. Okay, down again. You can load up to 426 kilograms inside the Renault Espace, which equals 1,691 pounds. And you can store up to, of those, you can store up to 80 kilograms or 176 pounds on the roof. If you want to, you can install a hook for trailers, and you can pull trailers up to a weight of 2 tons, 2 metric tons, of course, if they have their own braking system. Otherwise, you are limited to 750 kilograms, 1,601 pounds. Well, it's about time to share my driving impressions with you. So put the car in drive and let's go. As I mentioned earlier, we have various driving programs. You use this button right here as a shortcut for the multi-sense system. And so we got Sport, Eco, Neutral, Comfort, and a personal setting. Once I try to edit this personal setting, I can see various things that are affected by this very drive mode. So it's the steering, the fork controls, so the all-wheel drive steering, the damper system, the powertrain itself, the air condition, the cockpit display, the sound indeed. We have a sound acoustics in here, I guess, and the ambient light plus the driver's seat. And for each setting, actually, I can edit this settings. Well, not everything for all the settings, but still, even in sport, I can change the color of the ambient light and say whatever the driver's seat is supposed to do. So I can say, if I put, as a shortcut, if I put the car in comfort, it starts the seat massage automatically. The different driving modes, well, if you switch between sport and eco, you obviously feel the difference, you know. Everything is sharpened in sport. The steering wheel itself is getting, or the steering is getting more direct, while driving an eco, you know, it's more leisure. Well, more French style, really. While in sport, it does get very, stiff and very responsive, the whole steering system. Okay, back in eco. The damper system has various settings. So we got sport, normal, and comfort. Going in comfort, the car really gets this French way of driving, as I say it, well, as I know it from old cars. You know, you might know I own a Citroën DS, so with this Hybro Promatic damper system, and there you just sail like on clouds. And it's not so good in here in the Espace, but the comfort setting is indeed very comfortable when coming to the damper system. While in sport, it does get a little bit stiffer, but overall we are driving here a huge family van, crossover nowadays, and it well, it supports your sporty driving. Maybe you can turn it on the Autobahn. I didn't. But at least it's there. So the steering between leisure and pretty direct. However you use it, make sure you enable the four-wheel steering, of course, because it really helps you in the city. Driving slower than 50 kilometers per hour, it supports, the rear axle supports the same way that the front wheels does. So you can corner easily or maneuver the car more easily, while if you go faster than 50 kilometers per hour, it puts the tires in a different angle, or it's steering against the front axis to support, faster cornering with faster speeds. I cannot judge if this is like really kicking ass, because I just have the four-wheel steering. Yeah, I can disable it. Why didn't I do this? However, it works fine with me, or it worked fine for me, and I like how this huge car is, how you can maneuver this car, this huge car, in a very easy way. Okay, just so you see, that was the steering. We got a 1.6 liter gasoline engine here having 200 horses, and just hearing those figures, 1.6 liters, 200 horsepower, that's the downsizing version. So it's okay, I guess, to drive this way. Oh well, it was a dead end. Sorry, I have to turn. So you do have 200 horses on one side, but you really push the throttle hard to really make the car jump forward. It takes a while always, So yes, you have quite a bit of power, and but especially on the Autobahn, if you drive, faster than 160 and try to go up to 200 kilometers per hour, it really gets a little bit too slow. So that's nothing I would call sporty feeling or lots of forces on your feet. However, I don't think the car is made for this kind of driving anyway, and you can easily cruise with 160 kilometers per hour on the Autobahn. That's a good speed for this, a good traveling speed for this car overall. And I think then the fuel consumption figures will stay closer to what the manufacturers or Renault says than what I've told you, my 12 liters that I wasted here, because I was most likely always going full speed on the Autobahn because I was rushing. The brakes work fine. I have nothing to complain about those, and so does the 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. If you want to, you can shift manually as well, but it does not really. Well, I hardly used it. I don't know. Well, you can do it, of course, but you don't have to. Well, that's one of the stupidest red light we have in Bielefeld. For some reason, I'm not allowed to drive. Even, well, never mind. But overall, I can say that the transmission works with charm, really a smooth shifting, seamless shifting, and you hardly recognize the car is shifting. So this is really nice. Well, I was driving the car most likely in comfort while being on the Autobahn, or in eco while, being inside the city limits. So once you drive inside the city limits, the car is really a silent runner, and even on the country road, it's not getting too loud as long as you stay in eco or comfort or neutral. But once you put the car in sport, you automatically feel that giving you a little bit more RPM, and it does try to be or sound a little bit sporty. Well, I'm still in the city limits, so I can, you know. So here, leaving the city limits now in sport. And it almost sounds like a 6-cylinder, I guess. Well, yeah, you know, I'm smiling because it's fun. I really think it's a fun sound for this kind of car, because I really think, wow, race car feeling, yay! But overall, you know, it's just inside and artificial, so relax. But it's neat that it did it anyway. But again, in eco, you know, same stuff in eco. It's much more silent. By the way, we have this huge windscreen. Wind noises start around about 100 kilometers per hour. That's so you really hear them. And if you go faster than 160, it does get a little bit noisy inside here. However, it's still fine, I guess. Right here we have 3 shortcuts. The home screen again. Shortcut for the different display settings. And 1 shortcut for the driving assistance. So we have a lane departure warner, which is on, and I don't like it. It gives you this noise from the side where you cross the lane. It's not active steering, supported, not steering or keeping you in the lane active. It's just a warner. However, I think it's kind of neat, but then if you're on the Autobahn, you're really listening to music and you're into it, like, yeah, whoa. And then you cross a line. The sound at the very side starts playing the music. Instead, you get this, and that's a bit of annoying. You have a distance warner, which I like nowadays, because you get really high tickets for not keeping enough distance to the guy in front of you. Active braking, well, yeah, whatever. We do have a blind spot warner, a little dot in the mirror, and once the car is in your blind spot, it's illuminated in orange, and once you put your turning signal, it is flashing. Well, we have speed alerts. We can activate speed alerts, so if there's a speeding, ticketing, whatever station in front of you, it gives you a warning and noise, not only visually but as well beeping. Once again, this is pretty neat, but you cannot really disable the sound. I would appreciate the icon in the head-up and in the display, but I would really don't want to have it beep all the time and disturb me while I'm listening to music. And you have automatic high beams, so once the car is driving faster than 45 kilometers per hour and it's dark outside, it will turn on the high beams if there's not another light source in your way. Last but not least, as I mentioned earlier, I had to get used to the whole infotainment system. It was a little bit confusing for me at first, but now after 2 weeks I really enjoy it. We have a Bose premium sound system in here with 12 speakers. Well, it's not the best system I heard so far, but it is quite nice and fun to listen to music while you use it. So driving on the Autobahn, cruising 160 kilometers per hour and really putting up some neat tune, it's quite enjoyable. It's better than most normal speakers. If you don't take the highest option line, then you will have to deal with only 8 speakers, I guess. So on the Autobahn, back to the driving menus, taking the car in sport and accelerating. So 100 kilometers per hour, 120, 140, and now it gets slower, 160. Yeah, come on, do it, let's do it. 180. Well, almost 200. I had to slow down a little bit, but didn't know if he was seeing me. Come on. on, 200, come on. So that's 200. As I told you, it takes a while, and as you might hear, wind noises, you know, starting at 160, getting really loud. Going 140 now. Now the wind noises are just fine and okay, I guess. And the more I slow down, the less wind noises you get, however. Alright, putting the car in eco, and I like that they have this eco button right here, so it's always easy to get an eco mode where you are able to save some fuel. And if you want to, there's even a little tree sign or flower sign. It shows you how efficient you're driving in terms of giving you a little bit more of this flower or less. Overall, I was quite pleased with the car. I have to say, since you have the spacious feeling here and you don't see really where the car ends, it's always kind of weird, if you're not used to the car yet, to drive in the city when you try to get into a tighted parking spots, or, you know, cornering like really hard and 90-degree corners inside something. It feels a little bit strange because you just don't see it. Overall, I enjoy driving this car even. It's a cool runner, works fine for me, and overall, yeah, I like it. Alright, that's it. Summing up the review of the Renault Espace with a petrol engine, 200 horses. Well, did I have driving fun? Did I enjoy my ride? No. Well, yes. No, I didn't have driving fun, but yes, I enjoyed driving this car. It's a perfect traveler. Perfect for long distance, perfect for, you know, taking the family on a weekend to wherever, going a little while. You have a lot of space. It's a cool cruiser. I like it. It's a nice long distance car, and you have so much space. I love it. It's same. Use it as a daily driver. You have 5 seats here for grown-ups that work for grown-ups. You have a huge trunk, and it's easy to store stuff in here. So I say, yeah, both thumbs up for the usage as a daily driver. Fuel consumption. Well, Renault claims 6.5 liters is possible. I don't doubt them, but I was taking the car rather faster on the Autobahn. I was always in a rush. I didn't have too much time just, you know, enjoying my ride with this car. I was rather pushing hard. And so I ended up with 12 liters. I'm pretty damn sure that you can, you know, move this car with less than 10 liters per 100 kilometers. Last but not least, comfort. Yes, I do think it is a very comfortable car. The seats are perfect, nice. You even have in this trim level the massage function, which is awesome. I love this. You know, being on the Autobahn and then getting a massage in between driving. That's pretty neat. Seats comfortable. The suspension, we have those 3 different levels, and in comfort it is really comfortable, the suspension. So yes, it's overall a comfortable ride. So far, so good. That's it. Well, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments fields. If you want to suggest something, you know, tell me how ugly I am, how stupid my English is, whatever, just feel free, you know, drop it all in. If you liked this review by any chance, please give me a thumb up. That motivates me. If you do even more, please share our clips on your social networks. I'm freezing. Facebook, Google Plus, or Twitter, or put them in your personal private playlist on YouTube. That helps us to grow. Tell your family, friends, and colleagues about us. We want to get bigger and bigger and bigger, get more audience. We would be happy to get more audience. However, if you want to support us financially, give us money, you can do so as well. We're offering Patreon and Tipeee as services, and I'm done. I'm cold. I'm freezing. I want to go home now. So I'm very thankful that you watched the clip till the end. I'm saying goodbye. I'm your host, Mr. Z. Please turn in next time when it is Ausfahrt TV in English as Video Car Review. So long and goodbye. And the top Scheiße nochmal. Which is okay.